Hello everyone and welcome down to episode 185 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron.
G'day, Brendan. Welcome back to another episode.
It's good to be here. What are we talking about tonight, Cam?
Oh, we're going to go through a fair bit of stuff. We're going to show some photos of the week.
That's under the bus straight away.
Yeah, thanks very much. He goes, at the start of the show, I'm going to say this, and then he just chucked it to me. So we're going to talk about our photo of the week. There was a pretty big Aurora down in southern Australia this last week, which I think we're going to get a little bit excited about on this episode. You've bought some more gear, and
I have.
Not the Super 8 camera on your couch behind you. He's got a bit more modern than that. We're going to talk about where I'm going next, and I may have cheated on us.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I cheated on us on another podcast.
Stay tuned for that, folks. Yeah, so big news in the photographic world. Well, it was worldwide, really, but definitely huge down here, and that was Aurora Australis showing her face again. And straight off the top of the show, Cam, I wanted to ask you a question without notice. Is it becoming
under the bus moment?
Is it becoming more and more common, the Aurora?
Well, this is the funny thing. It's not meant to be because we're going out of a peak season. It's got like a rotation of 7 years or something like that, where ebbs and flows. But we're meant to be coming out of the higher period, so it should be backing off. But what I'm finding, and I spoke to Jamie, good friend of the show, the other night when we were out shooting, is I think it's like everything with weather, it's more extreme. It may not happen as often, but when they happen, they're more extreme, like the floods down at the Great Ocean Road the other day. Like, yes. I think the Auroras are doing a similar thing, is that when they rock up, they seem to be stronger than what they normally have. But like the other night was one out of the box, and we'll chat about that as we go through. But they're not meant to be as frequent or as better or as big as they are, but yeah, Mother Nature's defining that. So,
yeah, it was interesting because when we'll get to this, but I was away up in northern Victoria, and I said to my wife, because we're up there together, and I said, "Oh, there's supposed to be a massive Aurora tonight," and she just went, "What? Another one?" And it was like, and she actually said, "I don't remember growing up with these. Like it never happened back in the 80s and 90s, and even the early 2000s. It seems like a very 2020s thing."
Yeah.
And I put that down to two things. One, digital photography or digital cameras, being able to capture it a lot more easily. I would assume so. I can't remember seeing photos of Aurora Australis shot on film. I don't even know if I remember seeing one of those at all.
You'd have to think about I haven't seen one. I'm sure there probably is, but look at your exposure. You'd have to be using like 1600 ISO and super fast lens in a few seconds. But I think you're right. I think they're definitely more popular. But I think digital photography and social media. There's a sound everyone loves. And social media is probably the key behind its popularity. But I never heard of anything like an Aurora when I was growing up or anything down here. There was a lady I met down here that was doing some mentoring with, probably a good 6 or 7 years now. And we were talking about the Aurora, and she said as growing up as a kid here in Hobart, they were always over the mountain, over the back of the mountain. You'd walk out and see the Aurora. So that would have been back in the 70s for her. But I guess it's just that knowledge and that exposure that we get now with social media that everyone knows about them, and we're all looking for them and sharing photos of them.
Yeah, and knowing how to and also look, phones. The fact that the other night I got back to where we were staying and just is the Aurora outline, and I could almost already see it. Like I was like pretty confident. And of course, just to confirm it, what do? You chuck your phone up and you just do a 3-second exposure. There it is. All right, let's hit the road. It's pretty cool that we can do that. But you made a very good point, because you said that social media is it's responsible for sharing the images. It's also responsible for telling us that it's coming. So it sort of has a snowball effect, I guess. But I mean, in the last 18 months have been the 3 biggest Aurora episodes I've ever witnessed. Definitely in the last 18 months for sure. So it was May 2024, so the Mother's Day Eve Aurora, and then it was October 11, and now 3 nights ago. So pretty incredible.
And in between those big ones, there's been, what I would have probably described as big ones before the big ones. Like I said, they seem to be getting bigger and more stronger. And like I said, the 2024 May one, and then the October one, and then the other night, they're massive. And you're right, like the word gets out there. You've only got to look at the Aurora Australis Tasmania group. Like that's got 300,000 members in it. Like that's 3/4 the population of Tassie.
Yeah.
But that's got members from all around Australia who, as soon as there's an Aurora out, it's plastered everywhere over social media. So, which is good. It's great because everyone gets to go out and explore it and experience it. And then on the back of that, you get over a massive flood of images coming through, and then it dies off after. It's a bit like the Aurora. It goes big for a while, and then it just dies off, and then everyone forgets about it until the next one. But but you actually made me aware of that one the other night, because I hadn't seen anything on my socials about a big one coming through, and I think you said, "Oh, it looks like it's going to crank up in a couple of days." And I looked at my app. I'm like, "Oh, the app's not even really showing much." And then all of a sudden that day, it was KP9s and.
I seem to have really just relied on Aurora Hunters Victoria on Facebook. They tend to get it right. Barb Wallace and co. They
shout out to Barb, who is our favorite Wallace twin.
Yeah, and also the Oracle when it comes to this sort of stuff. There's a few other people that contribute heavily to Aurora Hunters Victoria, and or is it Australia? Sorry if I get that wrong, but
no, it's Victoria.
It is Victoria. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they post quite often is when the actual solar flare happens.
Yes.
And they will go crazy. It's like, this is a big one. This has plenty of potential.
Yeah.
And that's normally that you get that 36 to 48 hour window to get it done. So shout out to those guys. That's definitely where I get my inspiration from when it comes to chasing Aurora, but we will circle back to that shortly. What we're going to start with is some photos of the week, or
Sounds
photos
good.
that we want to show. And Cam, I'm going to put yours up on first. Is that okay?
That's easy. That's a good one. Yeah. Mine's a bit of an easy one. There you go. That's a black and white shot. Yeah. So this is a black and white shot from the Flinders Ranges, and this is one of the old, I think it's an old railway station building that's fallen down along the Outback Highway there on the western side of the Flinders Ranges. But what I like about this one, it's actually shot on film. It's a film shot.
Yay.
I shot it on my little Leica M6. This was taken middle of last year. That's how long it's taken me to get the films developed. But that's the beauty of film, I think. Like, you take a photo, you got no idea if it works or not, and then you send your film away, and it comes back, and you've actually got something that's worthwhile on there. So, but yeah, I thought I'd share a film shot, something different, black and white. It's got some beautiful grain in it, which hopefully you might be able to see on your screens here at home, folks.
You definitely can. You can definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just,
and I love that. I love how with film, sorry to butt in, but I love how the film has that. It seems to have a really unpredictable and uneven grain pattern. And that's where noise doesn't stack up as film. As good as film.
I was just about to say that I don't think you still can't replicate the film effect. There's all profiles and stuff like that say, yes, you can make it look like Ilford or Agfa or whatever, but the natural film grain that you get because of that light hitting that surface of the film and reacting, I don't think you can replicate it. So that's probably the thing I like more about this shot than anything, is that it's got that real beautiful grain feel to it. And I'm just happy that's one of the first rolls of film I put through that camera. I'm just happy that it actually works. So I didn't spend a stupid amount of money and have a dud camera. So it's good.
Do you know what film it was?
Yes, it was the Ilford 400 C41 black and white, I think it is.
Oh, so XP2.
Yeah, XP2. That's the one. The one with the red box, the red and white box. Yeah.
Massive fan of XP2. I love it.
Yeah.
I think the main reason I love it is it can be C41 process, which occasionally does give it a color cast. This obviously hasn't. You didn't have to correct that at all, or?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure it's sort of straight out of camera. I think it's pretty much straight editing. I didn't do any color adjustments to it.
Yeah.
It probably also didn't have a polarizer on it either. So because we're using the rangefinder Leica, you can't see any adjustments with the polarizer because you're using the rangefinder. So I tend not to worry about it. I'm pretty sure this was shot on either the 50mm f2 or I think it's a 50mm f2 lens. But yeah, it's pretty much out of camera, no sort of adjustments with the color temp in post editing with the digital side of things. I scanned that. I got that scanned on the Epson V850 the same scanner that you scan at work there.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with that. It's a pretty classic sort of outback shot. And now I've just got my big decision now is whether or not I take a film camera to my next trip, or do I not?
Well,
it's just extra stuff to carry.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's always extra stuff. It was so funny because viewers of the show will know that my daughter is in Europe, and she messaged me just before and said, because my wife's going over to meet her in middle of February, and she said, "Is there any chance you can put the Canon A1 in with Mum?"
Oh, right, yeah.
And that's I went, cool. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if Sally's going to be happy to lug an A1 across.
Yeah.
And she also, of course, hit the old man up for more film, of course. So, got any port for 400, Dad? Sure, it just grows on trees. That's no problem at all.
Just stick it in the luggage, like just tuck it in under a puffy jacket or something. That'd be good. But yeah, good on her for shooting film and enjoying it. She's going well. She's going well over there.
Mate, it's fantastic. She's having an absolute bloody ball and seeing sites. Like, it's actually inspired me to want to go back there. Like some of the castles she's seeing, and these cathedrals and these city squares, and she's getting into the nitty gritty of a lot of towns because she's on a Contiki tour, and it's a lot of younger kids, and they take them on walks. It's great. Yeah. So. No, having the time of her life, and the poor bugger. She's just literally, as we speak, pulling into Venice. So,
bugger, first world problems. You know what? I reckon we should get her on when she gets back. I think we should get her on the show and have a chat to her as a young person traveling, and if she's shot film, or she maybe gives an idea of. Yeah,
I think she would be reluctant to come on in person. However, I'm pretty sure she'd be happy for us to share some of the images. So,
we can pay her or something.
We might at least get that. No, one waits on this show is enough. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to outweigh the show.
So my photo of the week, which I'll put up in a second. So I was up in my old stomping ground of the Mallee, and my lovely wife's mum, my mother-in-law Julie, still lives in Lake Boga. So we went up and stayed with her, and a planned break needed 5 days off, which was fantastic. Left retail for a little while and went and put my feet up. But of course, no rest for the wicked when you're up there. And a massive thunderstorm decided to roll across Lake Boga. So I managed to get this one, which I'm pretty pumped about. Now, you're going to have to forgive me if things don't look quite right with these, because I literally haven't had a chance to edit these properly. You're looking at there.
Why not, Brendan? Why have you not edited these?
I know.
This is that's the first thing I do. I got home from the Aurora at 2:00 in the morning, and I was editing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I probably would have. Quick story. So we went up there for 5 days, and I took my camera gear, which was great. But what I didn't take was my laptop. I was just relying on phone edits, which is fine. Like, I do that all the time, and it doesn't worry me. But it was so funny because I was like, I haven't got my laptop. Oh, bugger, never mind. Got all the way back to Ocean Grove and put my camera bag down and went, gee, my camera bag's still pretty heavy. My laptop was in there.
You're a dickhead.
Anyway, sorry. This is this is the Lake Boga silos, and I was out for dinner in Swan Hill, and I dropped my mate off after we had dinner, and we could just see this lightning in the distance. So initially, I just went to the nearest paddock to Swan Hill, and there are paddocks on the edge of town. So I just want to get a clear view across the Mallee and try and get lightning. And I got a little bit happening. It was great. I was quite proud of myself. I don't really do lightning photos. In fact, this is probably the first good lightning photo I've ever taken. And I didn't, Cam, I'll be hand on heart, I had no idea what I was doing. It took me a while to get it and go, okay, I do that aperture and I do that ISO and I do this shutter speed. And I knew the long shutter speed thing. Like, it had to be and it was night, so that was great. So, you know, long shutter speed, cast a wide net, so when the bolts happen, you actually, you're giving yourself the best opportunity. But when it came to aperture, that really threw me. I found if I was doing what I would normally do for a landscape and shoot at f8 to f11 and beyond, not really doing it for me. It's similar to Aurora. You've got to be a little bit more open. And I was trying to shoot constantly at 100 ISO, but even then I found myself having to push that a little bit as well. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure this shot you see on the screen, this was, I'm going to say, I actually ended up shooting this at f2.8, believe it or not. So wide open, 10-second exposure, 100 ISO for this one. And the reason I went back to 100 was because these lightning bolts were mega.
They were. Well, that's the thing as well.
Pulling it in.
Yeah, that's the thing with lightning as well. It is a tricky balance because you've got the darkness, but then the darkness is getting absolutely destroyed by these flashes of absolute blowing out light. So it's a real tricky balance. And I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you get there and you set up, you're like, okay, well, I'll just, I think I know what I'm doing. I'll just dial this in, and you're just like, hang on a sec, I'm getting dark frames here. What the hell's going on? Or so that's just a 10-second exposure, and obviously there was a couple of bolts in there as it came along. So that we did a bit of lightning stuff up in the Kakadu last month a bit, and it is a tricky one with how long you do your shutter speed for and how many bolts you try and get in there, because you can use like a intervalometer or whatever it is where it sets off when the lightning goes off. I still like this theory. This is old school way of doing it, where you just leave the shutter open for 10, 15 seconds and just keep pressing. And whatever happens in that time, happens in that time. And I think that's more authentic. So, that's the way I'd be doing it as well. But
and cool. Naturally, the frustration that comes when you're literally between frames and a lightning bolt happens. Like, you can set your watch by it, I'll just put this other one up because this was just literally the exposures before, but I was tighter on the silos clearly. But I found I was too tight, because if you have a look right behind the silo, that is a lightning bolt that has hit, and it has just blown it to bits. So and there's really cool, lightning coming out from the side of the big bolt as well. So I was like, God damn it! So that's why I backed up. As I was backing up, the rain came. And it was like, all right, I need this shot in the next 20 seconds, or I'm just going to get absolutely drenched and camera gear drenched. More than that, though, I was starting to get a little antsy about lightning. Because it was moving straight towards us.
Well, the odds of getting struck by lightning are pretty low, mate. I think he would have been okay. Exactly. Correct me if this is not the same silos I've been to. I was going to say
this is Lake Boga.
I'm thinking of the other ones we went to, wherever they were. Where it's got like a little picnic bench and shelter there.
I think that was Sea Lake. Yeah,
might be Sea Lake. They make me nervous. Those little corrugated iron sheds with metal poles to the ground with the metal plastic seats there. You're just like, God. But lightning's cool, and it's what's tricky about that shot as well. The silos are getting lit up, so it's this is where you need Glyn Lavender, because he would have said, well, just expose for the silo light, and then and then the ambient light will do its thing or something like that. He would have had something weird.
Quite thankfully, those lights that light up the silo, and I don't know whether it happens later, because the next night, of course, was the big Aurora show. So I went back here and I noticed, and I didn't notice on the lightning shot, but I noticed the second time around, that the light that lights up the silos is really quite dim. It's actually, and I don't know whether that was because I was there later and it's a light pollution thing. They turn them down, so maybe the road aren't working or something like that. But
maybe.
But anyway, it was so cool. I was absolutely pumped to get some really cool lightning shots, and
it's exciting.
It is exciting. It's I became a storm chaser, and the adrenaline is really cool. Like, I was driving, like, going quick from Swan Hill back to Lake Boga because I saw the storm was approaching Boga, and on the side of the road was just cars parked and people with their phones out doing video of the lightning. So it was cool to be a part of that.
Chasing storms is good. Mother Nature, when she puts on a show, it's hard to beat. I think I've been a storm chaser for years. As a kid, I remember sitting at my dad's house when I was growing up, looking out the back window when storms roll over Melbourne, or up in Bright. We used to get some pretty good storms there. So, maybe we need to do a storm chasing down south photo show workshop. And
oh man, how good would that be if you could just only predict these things? I mean, could you imagine if we had our Mallee workshop running over the last week? Like, it just would have blown people's minds with the lightning and then the Aurora the very next night. So,
that's the only thing about I hate about this time of year is when you get the storms. They're great, but you got to wait till like 11 o'clock before it's properly dark, before they come through. Same with the Aurora. It's like, God.
Yeah. Well,
like the other night.
You go. Sorry.
Yeah. I was going to say the other night with the Aurora, I think we didn't leave here until 8 o'clock. It's just like I was getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden I'm going out chasing Auroras till 2 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, well, we stayed at a friend's place till like 9:30 before we even considered going to shoot Aurora. So there was a similar sort of thing for us. But the big issue that we've got at the moment, and Tassie's going to be the same pretty soon, even though your weather's been a little bit more inclement, is lightning makes fires. So
it does.
Yeah, we were quite fortunate with this storm that it brought quite a bit of rain with it. It wasn't just dry lightning. So in fact, we got about 10 mil. There was a place south of Sea Lake that said they got an inch out of a storm in like an hour. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like any of the big fires we've had down here over the last 5 or 6 years have all been lightning strikes. Tassie is starting to get a lot more drier lightning storms, which obviously it's not normal down here. But yeah, like you said, all that weather is pushing down a bit, and it's a worry. But and everything's just so bone dry. I just went up to Launceston today and just driving up through the Midlands, that's just bone dry. You know, that's all paddocks and stuff. But if it's dry there, it's dry everywhere else. So
yeah, it's the same. It's the same in Northern Victoria. Like we went through Harcourt through the because we go up the Calder Highway. Shout out to Flick, who's not far from that area. There's a section, a good probably 8 to 10K section, just torched both sides. Like the apocalypse has been through there, and there's no undergrowth. It's just dirt. It's all just been burnt. So, excuse me. It's quite remarkable, and you're quite right. Further north, just like you look at it, it looks like it's going to burst into flames. It was just so dry. So hopefully that doesn't eventuate. We've got an absolute stinker coming our way. This is probably going to go up on Saturday, and I think that's one of the really hot days down here. Speaking for ourselves here in the southern reaches of Australia. Not sure what it's doing around the rest of Australia, but it's certainly that time when, as you say, Mother Nature puts on the show for us in summer in Australia.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah,
it is. So shall we talk auroras?
I think we should. I think it's a big one. So
so your night? What did that entail? I mean, you got the warnings. You got it's going to kick off. What was your thought process about photographing it?
My thought process, as always, down here is cool. Big Aurora. People are going to be everywhere. Awesome. But my main thought process when I'm doing that kind of Aurora chasing is, where the hell can I go that no one's done an Aurora shot before? Like, I'm really looking for that sort of magic location where you can shoot the Aurora that no one's been before. Or, instead of those sort of typical sort of classic shots around Hobart, whether or not it's off Mount Wellington or down on the Tasman Peninsula or around the Hobart waterfront. Like, they're great shots, but they're done to death. So I always try and find another place to go. So Jamie and I were like, okay, let's go out. Let's go and see what we can do. We decided to go a fair way. We drove almost 2 hours from Hobart to a place called Pencil Pine Lake, which is up on the Highland Lakes. It's got some beautiful old pencil pines. It's got a lake there. It's got a lovely little path. It's a great little spot, which would have been good for the Aurora. So first thing we did is checked all the weather forecasts, cloud forecasts, and all those kind of things. The cloud forecast on all apps was showing clear pretty much across the entire state until about 1 or 2 in the morning when there was a bit of a band coming in. We drove 2 hours and we got up and got out of the car at this Pine Lake, clouded in, complete cloud out. And we're like, are you effing kidding me? Like, we looked at the apps. There's no cloud on the apps. It wasn't fog or anything either. It was proper cloud. We're like, why have we missed this? Why has the Weather Bureau missed this? So we had a look. We spent 10 minutes there, I think, and went, we've got to go back to Hobart. We've got to go south again because the cloud, we could see it where it was. We could see it like stopping it, further down south. So off we went back in the car, back towards Hobart. And then we drove about another hour. And this is a benefit. This is a little bit of a tip for people as well is, knowing your local region. Like, as we're driving back, Jamie's like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, he goes, "We could go here. I've been there." And I'm like, "We could go there. I've been there." And in the end, we went down this road that I just knew had lots of dead trees and windy roads and old, sort of old disused huts and stuff like that, and sheds and things like that. So we went down that road, and we literally just found a tree and pulled over. We literally found, by luck, we found a driveway that went into a farm over a hill, which I'd never seen before. So yeah, we sort of fluked it a bit. We tried to prepare and be a little bit out of the left field to get a shot that would have been pretty cool. That failed, so we had plan B, C, D, and E, and because it was such a big Aurora, that's probably what saved us, is that it was so big that you could pretty much shoot anything, and it looked pretty good. So, but what did happen though was it worked in our favor, because people down here in Hobart, it was really overhead. Like, it was so strong. It was majorly overhead. We were 100 kilometers north, which allowed us to sort of get the wraparound beams and be a bit further out from all the being underneath it. So I think by luck, we ended up getting in a better place than maybe what we would have done if we'd stayed further south. So, but it was a good night. We got back about 2:30, covered about 400 kilometers, which is crazy. And yeah, got some good shots. I had an issue though. I took my SL3 Leica camera out. I've never used that in the dark for Astro or Auroras. So I first 15, 20 minutes of shooting, I couldn't get the thing focused in manual focus, looking through the screen, trying to get the stars sharp. I'm thinking, this is an expensive camera that's meant to be really good. Why the hell there's no focal measurement on the lens to show me where infinity was? There's really nothing on the back screen to show me like a range. And I was getting really shitty. Like, Jamie's snapping off shots. Look at this. I'm like, yep, great. Don't care, mate. I can't get mine stuff. You can go stick it up your ass. Yours looks great. You're getting shots. You can go down there and do that. So I was getting really shitty about it, because I was really dirty on myself that I hadn't played with my camera beforehand before I went out. So I Googled it. I literally just said, focal distance chart Leica SL3. And on top, there's a little screen that just has the frame numbers and the ISO. It's in there. It actually shows you in there. So once I found that, I'm like, right, game on. I can find infinity, and I was fine. But like for 15, 20 minutes, I was ropeable. I was not happy. There was a lot of choice words.
Like photo pills help you there as well, with your body and the lens that you've got?
Maybe, but the thing was, I just had no indication of what infinity was, apart from visual through the screen. And, it doesn't matter what camera you're using. When you look through the viewfinder, it's at that time of night, it's quite pixelated with noise, because it's, working in the dark. So I tried to get Jamie to shine a light on the tree 100 meters down the road. I couldn't pick that up. So it was a bit of an eye opener. I was thinking, have I just bought a camera that's just completely useless for what I want it for? But then once I realized, okay, it does have the distance measurements on that top screen, it was fine. It actually, to its credit, it actually did a better job than most cameras, because it actually had it had infinity. It had the focal distance for both where your focal point was, also where it would stretch to the back and where it would stretch to the front. So it gives you that depth of field rule on the screen. So when we got to the last shot, I'm like, okay, so my focal point is on that tree, which was about 20 meters in front of me. The background was going to be infinity. So that's good for the stars and the Aurora. So it was really quite good for fine tuning. But for a while there, I was ready to chuck that piece of shit in the bin. And I got my iPhone out. I was like, I can't miss this. I've got to take some iPhone shots. I think I sent you a couple of them.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and that was mid shit show for me. I'm like, you're like, how's it going there? I'm like, oh, if only you could see me at the moment. But yeah,
yeah.
That was good evening. It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Can I put up one of your photos now? You want me to put up edited or non-edited first?
Well, I thought we'd talk about what you'll do. Maybe what you do is you talk about your experience for the night.
Yes,
and then yeah. So just to give you guys a bit of a precursor of what I wanted to do is. There's been I get a lot of questions when you put Aurora shots up, whether or not it's online or in person or people sending you Facebook messages. But so many images look so different across the entire board, whether or not you're Tassie, Victoria, wherever you took your shots from. Mount Buffalo, I saw photos from there. And a lot of people say, why do they all look different? And not so much why do they look so good on the camera when I can't see it naked eye? It's more so, why do things look different? Like different colors, different beams, different, all that kind of stuff. So what I thought would be good for this episode is Brendan will go through his experience about the night, but then we'll show you a bit of our before edit and post edit shot. So you can sort of see, like, our shots did look different, and Jamie and my shots look different. And we can sort of go through and explain why they might look a bit different, because I think that'll ease a few people's uncertainty on when they go out and shoot auroras and why their shots might look different to others. So but because over to you. How was
well, there are many different factors that go into where you were, what the conditions of the aurora are like, the time of night. It all changes so quickly as well.
Yes.
Location is massive. The gear that you used.
Cameras, the different cameras.
The different cameras, they have different ways of doing things. And there's no right or wrong. They're just different. That's all. So that's why you get the different results. But similar. Well, not a similar story. Because I was up there in the Mallee, and then when I saw just how big this was going to be, I was like, I have no doubt I'm going to see this up here. Like, I was convinced then, which I was chuffed for, because, let's be honest, it's pretty rare to be in far northern Victoria and see the aurora. Like, it's
especially that far north.
That's pretty far north. I felt pretty chuffed about that. And so, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, I got this awesome photo of this lightning storm over these silos last night. What are the chances of the very next night getting an aurora over the same silo? So that was my first thought, and I thought I'd use those again. But as I say, I was at a friend's place till about 9:30, came back out to Lake Boga from Swan Hill. It's only about a 10-minute drive. Dropped the wife off and just said, I'll be back later. Don't stay up.
Go to bed. Go to bed. See you later.
So went to the silos, first of all, at Boga, and clouded out. So, which was a bit of a bummer, because similar to you, most of the apps were saying that I'd be pretty clear by that point, by 10 o'clock. Not the case at all. In fact, I probably had maybe 3/4 of cloud out in Boga. So I checked the maps, and my other ace up my sleeve was another silo at Ultima, where you and I have been with the Mallee tour. And I thought, bugger it, that's fine. I mean, I've got all the time in the world here, and the aurora would look like it was going to hang around. So it's about a half an hour drive across to Ultima. So I drove through the Mallee night, which was fantastic. Not another car or truck or anything around, just cruised across to Ultima. It was funny. I got to Ultima and got out where the train line is, with the silo and everything. Just as I was setting up, and this massive road train pulled in right beside the silos with all its lights just blazing.
Jesus. Yeah.
And
you didn't have a freight train come through like last time, did you?
I did keep an ie. I didn't wear headphones. I can give you the ticket.
That was scary.
Yeah. So again, I was a bit frustrated. I was like, but then within 5 seconds, I don't know whether he saw my camera. I don't know, but all the lights went out in the truck. So I was like, good, that's fine.
Yeah.
So set up there, and then Cam, do you remember when we shot Ultima? Was it last year? The problem with that spot? One glaring problem.
Was there houses to the right of it?
No, behind it's a dirty, great big street light that's old-fashioned filament in it.
That's right.
What's it called?
Yes, that's a halogen or
something like that. It's orange. It's a really bright orange light.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, I'm just like, I forgot about that. And of course, I'm wanting to do high ISO, long exposure to get the aurora. And the very first shot, all my foreground was just burning orange.
Yeah.
Bloody light. And I was like, I could see the aurora though, so that was okay. So then I had to, mess around with compositions and stuff, and I ended up with an okay shot there. What I ended up doing was actually walking down the train line past the silos to get away from that bloody light. And just got a shot of the night sky. But there was still a good 40 to 50% cloud, like across. The aurora was sort of peeking out.
Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe the aurora was affecting the satellite or the radars to sort of show up cloud, because it was very strong, and obviously that kind of electromagnetic force going through the atmosphere might do some effects to satellites taking readings and stuff like that. Because like same with you. Like it was clear there wasn't a cloud on the site on the whole of Tassie, and then we got up there. We're like, this is 80% cloud. What's going on? And same with you. So maybe there was something else going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was definitely naked eye visible. We had beams with a naked eye, but for those of you who, you know, and I get the comments a lot from people who aren't into photography, and particularly at the shop, and people, you know, they sort of roll their eyes. Oh, another Aurora show that you couldn't see with your naked eye, but only the camera could see it, and blah, blah, blah. It's not really real, is it? And it's like, to them, I say, it is actually there. It's just that your eye can't do a 10-second exposure at 1600 ISO. So it's the rods and cones in our eyes. The color falls outside the gamut that our eyes are capable of reading. However, sensors and film are able to pick that up over those exposure times. So what you could see was, I want to call it like a very, very light green fog. It looked like for me, it looked like a greenish sort of fog at Ultima with a couple of, they look like, you know, bright spotlights shooting up into the sky, which was the, you know, like searchlights almost. And that
they look like beams. I relate it to like headlights coming over horizons when you see those beams. And you're right, like people will say, oh, you can't see it, or that's not the color it is. Again, with those people, killjoys, they don't know what they're doing. That's fine. You can have your killjoy and your keyboard wiring. But where we were, we could this is probably the most pulsating Aurora I've stood under down here. It was like a strobe light going off over our heads. And it wasn't just sort of slow. It was like flickery, like proper strobe light. And Jamie and I both sort of said, this is nuts. Like this is huge wind speed. So that's the wind speed of the Aurora that's causing that sort of pulsating. And that was maxing out on the charts. So
sorry, I'm just talk amongst yourselves for a second, because I just want to add that photo that I got at Ultima.
Sure.
And of course, with this software, I have to remove a file so I can put it up. Let me do 10. Come on, we pay you guys enough money. Can you sort this out, please?
Do we actually pay this? Isn't this a free version? But you're right. Like we had color in the sky. We had the greens. And this is what's going to be interesting about this editing discussion we have as well, is that through my eye, I could see purples and greens and yellows and things like that.
Yep.
Jamie was saying similar, but he's like, oh, look at these oranges or the reds. And I'm like, what reds? What are you looking at? You know, like, I didn't say that out loud, but I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, mate. Yeah, there's reds up there. But so, you know, sometimes our own eyes, depending on, you know, the quality of your eye or how your eye is made up, you might start seeing slightly different spectrums of color as well. So
so this is what I was dealing with at Ultima. So
that's that bloody light.
On the foreground you can see it, and it was just like, ugh. But that was pretty much the cloud cover that sort of haunted me for the night. It was like I had to find the gaps, you know, where it was, and I stood there and took a couple of frames about 5 minutes apart just so I could see what direction the clouds were moving. And
yes, I do that too.
And it was going, but they were going so slow. It was so agonizing. I was like, right. One thing I noticed as well is, to me, and I don't know whether you had the same experience, but this Aurora appeared to be heavier in the southwest than due south. Did you see that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll find like anywhere, and like when we were doing our shots, pretty much we said, like, obviously we're going to be pointing south, but it was literally from the east side to west horizons. It was the full 180 degrees down where we were, but it was stronger in the southwest. But I've been on Auroras where it's been really strong in the southeast. So again, I think that's wind speeds and directions of how it all works up there in the atmosphere. But yeah, sometimes you think, oh, I'm looking south. Why am I not really seeing it? Oh, look, it's over there. I've got to look that way a bit more. So
and it definitely. And I mean, this shot is 11:45 p.m. So it's quite late. So I don't think there would have been any more sort of twilight, you know, from the sunset affecting it. Well, it couldn't have possibly been. It was too late.
That's all Aurora from what I can see. But
and if you see in the bottom right hand part of that picture, there's this big road train that had pulled in, and he had these lights absolutely blazing. When he pulled in there.
I was just about to say, if you look above that truck, you can see the greenness of the Aurora through the clouds down there. Right. So it's interesting to see it from your perspective, being a bit much further north than where I was, but still getting that gradient of color going through the sky.
Why did I remove it while you were talking about it? That was
terrible. That's right. Yeah, the gradient from the bottom of the frame up. It's there. It's the same as what we get. We just get much more of it. That's all, really.
So, that's right. And being here in Ocean Grove, like I know what we get in Ocean Grove when it comes to Aurora. We get the green band just on the horizon, just. And then it goes up into the color spectrum through you. Normally for us here, it's pinks, reds, pinks, purple. That sort of spectrum. But I know, and it's funny because I look towards the horizon and I go, well, that's green. Cameron's there. It must be amazing there, And I think it's hard to judge distance as well when you're looking towards an horizon. Just how far that must be, but literally from Ocean Grove, we're looking over the top of Tasmania.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So, like from Ocean Grove to the tip of Tassie is like 250k or 300k plus another 300k down to Hobart. So, I've got usually 400 or 500 kilometers on you, which works 100% in our favor. Like you've seen the Aurora at Cradle Mountain, which wasn't a really big one, but still, quite high up in the sky. But when we get these big ones, it's right above you. Like you're literally pointing up. And we spoke about the May 2024 Aurora. One of the shots I took on that night, I was looking into the north sky. I turned around and it was that way. That's when that's exactly. That's sort of, Arctic Circle sort of Aurora stuff. So
no, that is absolutely insane. So once I'd sort of worked out that I probably wasn't going to get what I wanted at Ultima, jump back in the car and I thought, well, let's see if that band of cloud slowly moves enough to be back over the silos where I'd started in Boga, which was the shot I wanted. And so I took the drive back. It's got about 15 minutes, so sort of between Ultima and Lake Boga, where the Swan Hill Quambatook Road intersects the Ultima Lake Boga Road. Don't you love these place names? And
I'm off my heart. It's hilarious.
And I thought as I was approaching the intersection, my headlights were lighting up a giveaway sign, and I thought, okay, this could be a cool foreground, right? Because like you, I know places around the Mallee where you can shoot. The problem is at night, you've basically got to access people's properties to do it, and I wasn't keen on that. I don't trespass. I'm not big on that. And you find all the Mallee roads that you drive down are lined with like Mallee gums and scrub and stuff. So hard to build a foreground. So when I saw these, this giveaway sign, I was like, would that work? I'm not sure. So I just, it just sort of piqued my interest. I thought, well, let's give it a crack. So I got out and shot there for about 20 minutes. Sort of, quite luckily, again, the cloud had moved enough just to sort of expose a clear sky because I could see stars with my naked eye, and I could see that little that sort of fog or haze in the distance, which I knew was the Aurora. So, I'm going to put up a photo that this is.
Well, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Good old Barb Wallace from the Aurora Hunters Victoria has just put up a notice 6 minutes ago saying that there may be an Aurora happening at the moment.
See ya.
And he's off. I just looked. There's no point making any announcement here because we're releasing this later on, but it might be a small Aurora, but nothing big.
Just looking out my window, completely grayed out. So
yeah, excellent. Anyway, let's chuck this one up and look.
Yeah, this was. So this is unedited. This is straight out of camera. So you can, and you'll see the difference between this and the edited version is very, very subtle. But the issue I had here was there was nothing lighting up the giveaway sign.
Right.
So this is now from memory. This is another 10-second exposure. I shot this at 1600 ISO. This is with a Tamron 28-70 at f2.8. So wide open. And of course, I did my first exposure, and of course, I've just got this silhouette of a giveaway sign, and I was like, really, that's not going to work. So
you need the detail.
That's right. So reset, did another 10 seconds, and then just literally pulsed the flash of my phone at the giveaway sign, just literally for like I flashed it really quickly, and got that. So It was pretty much, that's the unedited file. But if I don't know, can it let me put them side by side? It probably won't. So that's the edited file.
Don't get too technical. Yeah.
We
so
probably
you can clearly see beams there.
Yeah, well, definitely. But so there you go. That again, that's unedited.
Yep.
And that's edited. So
yeah.
So, and the edit in this photo and the giveaway is the road. So if you have a look at the road, just to the left of the giveaway sign. Yeah. And now this is the edited version. So literally all I've done in this, and it's all it needed really, was I just lifted the shadows. And by lifting the shadows, I was trying to keep that giveaway sign as correctly as exposed as it was. I didn't want to blow it out anymore. And to be honest, it's probably a little bit overs, but that's fine. So I wanted to make sure that sort of stood out. But obviously the star of the show is behind it, the Aurora. And look at those beams. And I think just by lifting the shadows, and from memory, it was maybe a 5% contrast tweak as well. That's all it did. That's all I had to do. And it just made it pop like that. So that is not touching the saturation slider one iota, the vibrance, nothing. It is just lifting the shadows. And I find that the other trick as well, and I can't recall doing this with Aurora, but I think I did it, well, maybe with the Ocean Grove one a few years ago, the dehaze. So we can get a little bit of atmospheric. So like particularly on the coast, we can get the sea spray, like the haze in the air, and dehaze does knock that back a bit, even with Aurora behind it, rather than direct sunlight, rear lit or backlit by Aurora, it can correct it as well. Being up in the Mallee, of course, there was no, like, it's bone dry up there. There was no sort of anything in the atmosphere to affect it. So I guess that's why I didn't really need to change it. On closer inspection, I can probably clean this image up even more, because you can see there's some reflectors on some posts down low there.
Oh yeah, little two cat eyes there.
But then again, that's probably getting a bit picky. I don't really need to take that out. But I mean, it was a fairly simple edit, really.
Yeah, it's amazing that, again, I'm blown away by these sort of shots from up north. Like that's that's the Auroras I used to see down here when we first moved here, like that kind of size. And now, like, there's definitely something going on with the Auroras getting stronger and stuff like that, because that would be considered a great sized Aurora for anyone down here. Usually we'd be pretty happy with that. So
definitely.
Now, a question without notice. Have you asked Pearl Jam if they're okay with you ripping off their front cover of this?
I need to change the giveaway to a yield sign.
Yield, right? I tried to download the file for that so I could share it, but that's what I got. I got Pearl Jam vibes from the cover yield. So but that's cool.
I was pretty stoked with this. And look, I think it was a case of just working with what I had. As I said, I was desperate for a windmill. Didn't know where one was. Like, it was nighttime, pitch black, no moon. I couldn't see anything. So it was just like, you know what, let's shoot what we know. The giveaway sign's there. Let's have a muck around with that and see how we go. So
well, on closer inspection as well, those beams are almost stretching up to the top of the frame there.
It's not far off. They're
really prominent under that cloud, but then on the top of that cloud they're spiking at the top. So that's crazy.
If you look to the left there, that's the band of cloud that was pissing me off all night. It just lingered, like it just wouldn't go away. It just kept, hanging around. So that was a bit of a bummer. I mean, if I was being picky, but look, I still got a fantastic show and what I consider to be a cool photo. So happy days.
And up there, if you get away from that cloud, you got to drive 500 kilometers somewhere. That's big country up there. So
now I've got a couple of yours here. Do you want me to go unedited first?
Let's go on unedited first.
Now, you want tree or road?
It doesn't matter. Let's do tree, because I've got that.
Tree first. My settings up here. This is unedited tree.
Yeah, so this is unedited tree. So this one is shot on that SL3 Leica that finally got figured out how to use it. So this is down that road that we went down, where I said to Jamie, we've just got to go somewhere and try and figure the bloody hell out where we can get away from those clouds. And so this is ISO 1600, 4 seconds at 2.8. Now, the 4 seconds is different to your 10 seconds, mainly because I reckon it was brighter where we were. We're much brighter Aurora.
Without question.
So, like, at least a stop brighter. So that's unedited. And then So if you want to put up the edited one,
yes.
And then that's so that you can see same as what you've done, brought up the shadows quite a lot to get some detail in the paddock. There was a little house light that I quickly removed out, sort of down in the bottom right hand side of the frame, which I didn't even see when I was there. So I got rid of that. I also got rid of the telephone pole as well. I used a bit of AI content awareness. So if you look at the next bit, you'll see that the telephone pole's gone. That did an amazing job. I just ran my little mouse over it and said remove, and off it went. But that cloud that you can see at the top of the frame, that was the edge of the cloud. All the cloud was right behind us, and that was just the edge of it. And it was all creeping south towards Hobart. So again, with that, not a much, same as you, a bit of contrast adjustment. With that bit of highlight on the middle right, I had to bring that down a little bit because it was stupidly bright when I sort of brought all the shadows up. So there's a little bit of tweaking there. And the other thing is I try and change my color temperature of the sky. I like my sky to be that sort of deep space blue, dark blue. So up in the very top right-hand corner, that's what I've adjusted my color temperature. So in my Lightroom program, I've just selected sky and just changed the color temperature of the sky only. So that's something you can do. And that, I think that's where people get a little bit confused about what the auroras look like if people have different color temperatures set in their cameras or something. Mine was, I don't know what yours is set on, but mine's set on auto color balance. Some people will set their color balance to daylight or whatnot. I leave mine on auto, and then I just adjust accordingly just to try and get that dark, deep sky blue type of thing. That
mine was definitely shot in auto, and then for the reason that I have a reference photo as the JPEG, and then I can go in to the raw file, warm it up, cool it down, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So with that, that's about, like I said, there's a little bit of clarity put in the sky and stuff like that, but it's really only a 5-minute edit. It's not a big one, but when the conditions are that good and you got the aurora right over your head, and that was pulsing, like it was ridiculous. Like just picture that sort of pulsing, like something out of ET or something like that. That's what it was doing. So, but again, like just different color temperatures, different locations. Obviously, comparing beams and mine to beams in yours, like we're right under it down in Tassie.
Yeah.
You're getting them on the lower part of the sky. So, I think what also affects your composition can also be that. So because we had beams so high, like we were almost right under that tree and using quite wide angle lenses to sort of where you had the horizon and had the aurora more on the horizon. So you've got to sort of shoot, I guess, more flatter to try and get your scene in there. So different locations, different lenses, different conditions, it makes a huge difference. But either one of those photos, either one of those photos.
Sorry.
I was going to say either one of those photos is a perfectly acceptable aurora photo. So for people out there watching, and especially the guys who love the auroras, like there's no right or wrong way to do it unless you're really blowing out detail or everything's super dark where you get no detail in your shadows or anything like that. You made the adjustment of the road a little bit to bring the road up in your shadows. Like those little tweaks, it makes things a bit better. But as long as you've got that aurora looking nice and exposed correctly, like we've done, like that's all you should be aiming for with your edits. And then how you go with your color temperatures and all that kind of jazz, that's up to you, what your eye likes. But so many people think there's got to be a one way to edit them, and you don't have to stick to just one way, so
definitely not. And I think that's the beauty of it, like all photography, but particularly when it comes to auroras, it is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I've never shot, I mean, we've been lucky, man. Like we've had a good run of auroras. So we're sort of, but no two are the same ever.
No.
And conditions are never the same. And that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about it is, and you're right. So I use the phrase quite often when it comes to editing, and that is seasoning to taste. And it's what you want. And you're quite right. Sometimes that can be literally an emotion that you want to bring out. It could be a feeling that you want to bring out. If you're feeling cold, you might cool the image down. If it was a warm night, you might warm it up a little bit. Things like that. But I mean, it's so addictive, isn't it? Like you bring up an image, particularly a raw file, be it whatever you've shot, and you start playing with sliders, and the changes are infinite to the point where you've probably been the same. Sometimes you've got to shake it off. You just got to go, hang on. let's reset them all. Let's go back to zero and start this again, because you've overcooked it, but you've unknowingly overcooked it. So sometimes it's a good idea, if you think you've gone too far, just pop the original up on the screen beside it, the raw file or the original shot, and then compare the two. You'll know very quickly where you've gone wrong. So
it stands out like dog's balls when you go.
Does. And if it doesn't feel right, it's probably overcooked. But then again, and we say this a lot, if you like it, then that's what's the most important thing. So if you're happy with the result you've achieved, then great, that's fine. But we've talked about this since our first episode ever talking about Auroras, there are a lot of people out there that just grab hold of that saturation slider and throttle it. And I don't know. It just doesn't take, to me, it just takes away the magic of it, because the colors are there without having to do that. So
well, that's the other thing as well. Like I've actually reduced the saturation just by about -5. But what I've done, and I do this a bit on my Aurora shots, is I go through the individual color channels and just play with the luminance of the color channel a little bit. So just bring the greens up or down, the purples up or down, and the reds and pinks and stuff like that. So that's one of the main things I do. But apart from that, saturation, some people go green. Oh, I better slide that green all the way up. To me, less is more. But having said that, again, it's your images and you can edit them how you like it. But keep in mind, if you do push your colors a bit too far and you want to get something printed, it's going to really look bad printed. So but that was the first tree we stopped at. And the next shot, have you got another one to put up as well, or just
no, just yours? So okay.
The next one here was where we pulled up, and that is almost looking, you can almost see a bit of leftover sunset happening in the sort of right hand frame there. That's looking almost due west where we were. That's how big this was. It was like from east to west. So we pulled up there and it looked like a little pullout, and the tree that the previous shot was taken is over the road behind us. So I'm like, oh, cool, let's go. And then I got out of the car. I'm like, oh my God, we're in someone's bloody property here, or we're over a driveway. So again, this is the unedited shot. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. When you put up the edited shot, all of a sudden there's some foreground interest, because we were parked over some guy's driveway. And I'm like, is that a driveway or not? And there was a letterbox just off to the right, which now I'm sort of kicking myself I didn't include in the shot, which would have been pretty cool. But again, you can see that cloud coming in from the right-hand side. But again, just having that sort of, I guess, luck of having that driveway there running up over the field. That's the sort of first shot. That's the first shot I got with the camera being properly working for me, as opposed to me swearing at it. But this one's actually ISO 1600, 2.8, and that's actually a 12-second exposure. Right. And I don't know why I ended up doing 12 seconds exposure, but it seemed to work. That out of the files I got, that seemed to be the one I liked the most. But again, I've just brought the shadows up, and I've just selected the sky, changed the color temperature to what I like to get, that sort of space, dark blue, black in that sort of middle right side of the frame next to the purple. And then the rest of them just comes in, the colors just fall in place. And I've just played around a bit with the brightness of the colors. But again, just shows you like a difference of 800 kilometers or maybe 1,000 kilometers, just how different those auroras look. And it's just luck of the draw where you're located as to what you get. So, but again, not much of an edit, just shadows up, like you said, bit of contrast, probably a little bit of clarity, and playing with the sky ever so slightly, and away we go.
If I was to, and I said this to you when you sent me this photo, I think that's one of the best photos you've ever taken.
Right.
And I'm not pissing in your pocket. I love this image. There's something about roads that vanish over horizons that have what you've done here is you've added a very human element, and you've not only have you given it a vanishing point, you've given it foreground interest, you've given it scale, and scale when it comes to Aurora is big time, because now you know, if I skip back to this tree one, I get it, I understand it. I don't know how big that tree is. I've got no idea. That tree could be 10 foot tall. It could be 10 meters tall. I don't know. Whereas this shot, I know how big a road is. I know how wide a single lane road is. So, and that cattle grid, I can almost feel the metal on that cattle grid. And I know, you know what I mean? And that's where this, like, the classic landscape elements have all come together for you here. You know, which is your skill and ability and talent that have done that to really just make a, I mean, I'm not going to use the word masterpiece. That's getting a bit silly, but it's a
bit wanky.
Very good photo. I think this would be, if I had to go through and pick my favorite 5 Cam Blake photos, I think we have a new in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah. And that's lovely. Thank you. I appreciate that. The funny thing is, this was just pure luck that we pulled up there. I didn't even see the road. It wasn't until I got out and was setting my tripod up and swearing at my camera. I'm like, oh, hang on, this is like a property. And I literally just turned my head, the phone torch on. I'm like, oh, it's a road. So yeah, that's just, I guess, just luck of the draw. And sometimes you get lucky, but so there is something about roads and paddocks and big skies. And, you know, if I was doing this shot again, because I was panicking a bit. I was panicking because I couldn't get these shots working. And then I took my time to sort of figure it out. But if I had my time again, I might even do this one as a portrait shot and try and get more sky just to give it even more scale of how big it is. But I'm happy with what it is. And that one might get printed maybe. And
I think if you did that, though, if you did a vertical shot, you would inherently have to have more foreground, purely because you're going to lose the balance. And yes, it so happens to fall within the rule of thirds, but your horizon line is at that bottom 2/3. So, or bottom third, depending on which way you're looking at it. No, I think you've absolutely nailed it. So having said, you know, we've shown our Aurora photos, we've explained our experience, we explained settings and things like that. What were some of the takeaways that our viewers might take, Cam? For me, I think it's perseverance is key. You know, particularly, and so perseverance and probably another P, prior planning as well, and and having some kind of plan mapped out. Now, it doesn't have to be I'm going here to get this photo. Nothing like that. It should be this is the region I'm in. These are the shots I could get. Now, I think for me, it would have been I should have driven that road from Lake Boga to Ultima during the day, so I could maybe pick out a couple of foregrounds and go, there's that windmill, and drop the pin. So I could, you know, that could have helped. Because although I grew up in that area, I don't know every road like the back of my hand, and I might have uncovered.
Yeah, you're pretty close. You're pretty good. You're pretty good up there.
Not too bad, but you know, there's spots, and I know that I missed out on a good Aurora shot. I'm sure there's a windmill somewhere, or a haystack, or something or an old tractor, or something that would have been cool. You know, I'm happy with the photo I got. Don't get me wrong, but I think for next time, I think that's how I would sort of moving forward. That's how I would do it. Any pro tips from you, Cam?
I think like what you touched on, just knowing your region. I think, and that's hard if you're somewhere and it just happens and that's not your region. You know, when you're on holidays or something like that. Probably the one takeaway I would give to people about this, and this is what I failed with, is knowing my camera and knowing exactly how I can set up an Aurora shot or Astro shot in the dark with a camera that I wasn't overly familiar with. You know, I worked it out in the end. I needed Google to figure it out because it was doing my head in. But just knowing, you know, just practice it at home. If you're thinking, okay, you know what, these photos that you guys have shown have inspired me to go out next time and try and get some shots. Sit at home now and figure out, okay, how do I get into manual mode? How do I dial in my aperture, my shutter speed, my ISO? And mainly, how do I focus in the dark? Does my lens have a little window that shows me the meterage? Or does my camera have like a star autofocus like some of the Olympus cameras do? You know, how do I get my camera set to infinity on that focal length to get it right? And that way, when you do get out there, you're spending less time swearing at your camera like I was doing, and you spend more time of actually looking at what you can shoot and how you can shoot and actually enjoying the moment as opposed to fretting about it. So yeah, planning, what's the 5 P's? Piss poor planning prevents poor
prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
I think that rings very true for Aurora and astrophotography is, getting that preparation, knowing where you, like I said, pin some places, know where you're going to go, know what settings you need to use. Simple things like, how do I set my tripod up in the dark? Simple, things like that. And that'll save you, 80% of the heartache if you're out there. So hopefully that's helped.
Yeah, most definitely.
And just on that further as well, just with the editing as well, my advice would be, and like you said, everyone can edit differently, but like you said, don't overcook the edit. Don't feel like you need to put heaps of contrast in, or heaps of dehaze, or heaps of clarity, or heaps of saturation. Try and just keep it subtle and natural as you can. The Auroras are spectacular as they are. You don't need to add any more clown vomit to your shot to get likes online. If you get a great composition and get the exposure right on the Aurora, people don't give a shit about the colors and things like that. So keep it as natural as you can. That's my advice. So when I look at photos online, like we've seen thousands of photos in the last week, the ones I stop at and go, wow, that's really impressive, are the ones that are not over processed. So, if you want your photos to stand out, and if getting some appreciation for your work is something you're looking to do, my advice would be don't overcook the edit, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to circle back to what you said, knowing your camera is crucial. So,
yes,
in fact, to the point where when I run my entry-level workshop, it's one of the things I preach is you could be sitting on the couch watching the tennis. Get your camera out.
Yes. Yeah.
ISO is here.
You could be sitting here watching an iPad. What do you call it? A podcast.
ISO is here. Aperture's here. White balance is there. Yeah. That's how I change my focal distance. This is my focal length. This is how this is how I focus. This is how I change the focal point. All that sort of stuff, so that it becomes muscle memory. Cam and I are lucky. We're professional photographers that do this for a living. We need to know this stuff. I love it when we're out in the field and with on a tour, and we're setting up and there's no questions, because that means that you've done your homework and
what tour was that?
Yeah, it has happened. Did it ever happen? Okay. Did I dream that? Maybe I dreamt it. I don't know.
It might be a dream, I
think. Yeah. But yeah. But I love it when, as I say, when it all comes together, and I'm lucky. I've had my Nikon, for nearly 9 months now. So I migrated away from, Olympus back to Nikon again. And it was like, okay, that's, now I know. And the other night when I was out shooting the Lightning, don't have to get a torch on to see the settings, or, remember where the bloody buttons are. It should be second nature to you. So that's a good pro tip. Get your gear out and sit in front of the tennis, or, after dinner, and instead of reading a book.
If you're sitting in front of the tennis, there's nothing else to do. So you may as well play with it, because tennis is the most boring sport of all time. Hey, we were talking about the Big Bash before the thing, and I was talking about my love of Steve Smith, the Australian cricketer.
Yes.
He may have just dropped the match. He just dropped an easy catch. Not that this is a cricketing sporting show, but bad luck, Steve Smith.
he just dropped the BBL.
Maybe.
Now, shall we move on?
Yes.
I got something.
Did you see a doctor about it, or?
I got a new thing. So
does Sally know about the new thing?
Sally knows everything about all my gear.
Right.
Except
no, she doesn't.
That's my job. So after watching the Camera Life with friend of the show, Adam Edwards.
Yes.
I just so happened, I was at work, and I had put the Camera Life on when it's on at work. It's normally, I think, when do they do it? On a Friday morning or something? The morning one.
Tuesday morning or Thursday morning. Yeah.
And it always comes on at 9 o'clock, just when I open the doors to the shop. But, it was a quiet time, so I cranked up the volume and listened to Adam Edwards chatting away. Right when I was tossing up what zoom lens I should buy, because I was keen to get a zoom lens. I used that Tamron 150-500 at Kangaroo Island. Really liked it. Thought it was a great lens. Found it lacking in two areas. One, reach. I still think 500 on full frame isn't enough. I wanted that little bit more. And the other thing was autofocus. I found it just ever so sluggish, and occasionally it missed a couple of shots that I got a bit frustrated about. Very rarely. Still a great lens, don't get me wrong. Hello, Tamron, we love you. But Adam spoke of the Nikon 180 to 600, which I must admit I'd never heard of. I was like, 180 to 600, like
180 is a weird way to start, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, no, he said that wrong. It's 150 surely, because I'm used to the Tamron and Sigma 150 to 600 lenses. So I thought, hang on, I'll look it up. So I went to my good friend Mark at DigiDirect, and I said, hey, have you got any of these, and how much can you do one for me for? And remarkably well-priced lens. So yeah, anyway, I got myself a 180 to 600, and on my Nikon Z5 Mark II for around $2,500, which
that's pretty good.
I think it's remarkable.
That's I'm not going to lie, that's a very cheap tele.
Yeah, it's great. I'm not going to lie, it's heavy, but look, I'm only 53. I'm not 83. I think I can. I think I can handle it. It's okay. That whole kit in my hand now is around 3 kilos. So that's not too. That's camera as well. So that's not too bad. Anyway, I only got that this week, and so it came in the bag with me up to the Mallee, and I was able to put it through its paces straight away, and got that. And this is Cameron's favorite thing, straight out of camera. So
excellent.
Yeah. So it was it was great. It nailed focus immediately. I remembered for once in my life to put the right settings on the camera, put the bird tracking on. And
I was going to ask if you had bird tracking on that. Yeah.
Bird tracking and eye autofocus detection. So that has focused on the galar's eye to get that shot. Right. So it was cool. So this is literally on the street at the front of my mother-in-law's house, and there's just galars all in the gum trees, which is pretty cool. Quintessential
flaming galars
there. Flaming galar. So these guys, it was cool, and in the setting sun, so it was good just to have a bit of a play around with it. And then, of course, they all come in. There was a bit of a cacophony of galars there, so that was kind of cool. And
they're a cool bird, though.
They're very cool. These ones looked a bit malnourished, I must say, but it's very dry up there at the moment, so I get it. And then like a whole sort of flock of them sort of flew past me. And so I thought I'd really test out the focus. Now, what it's actually managed to do here is focus on the second bird in.
That's cool.
But it's created a kind of cool, I like it. It's got a bit of movement to it. It's a bit of a dance of the birds. So
the light under the wings is lovely.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed using that. It was really the only chance I had to do because the rest of the time I was shooting landscape. But I really, we're not sponsored by DigiDirect nor Nikon nor anyone, but I think I'm glad that. Mind you, I did have a bit of backwards and forwards with Adam before I made the purchase. Just mate, what do you think of it? Seriously, and he was like, dude, it's ridiculous for its money. And then he sent me 10 photos that he'd done over the journey using it with these Nikon. I think he's got like a Z7 Mark II and maybe even a Z8. Right. And I was really impressed. I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. Let's just get this thing in the bag and have a muck around with it.
Good old tax deduction.
Yeah, well, that's right too, I suppose. Yep. So so that was the gear purchase for this week. We'll see what comes next week.
I haven't bought any gear lately. I don't think I'm a little bit off gear, but I'm going somewhere soon, which might have a bit of gear available. So I'm saving up my pennies. Tell
all our valued listeners where you're off to.
When this comes out, I'll be a couple of days away from going off to Japan. So this will be my first trip to Japan. We're doing a 10-day winter workshop / tour with the good old Luke O'Brien photography from here in Tasmania, with his lovely wife Maduri, who both of them lived in Japan. Maduri is from Japan, so they know the region very, very well. So they're sort of almost taking us all on a tour with, I've had a bit of a scout via them as to where we're going. We head off next Tuesday, and I'll be there for about 2.5 weeks in total, I think it is. Really excited. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a bit different to what it is down here at the moment, but looking forward to getting there and checking it out and, see how this trip goes. Have you been to Japan before? No.
I've been to Narita Airport on a 6-hour stopover.
Oh, right. Okay. Technically, yes. But
so no.
Yeah. Where were you stopping over to?
That was a flight. No, coming back. So I bought a round the world ticket years ago, and no, we came back. I think it took us 6 different airports to get home.
Right.
But we ended up because we went like Rome to Narita to Cairns to Sydney to Melbourne.
Bloody hell! that's my way to get home. All right.
It was back in the day when backpackers would buy a round the world ticket and basically you just took whatever flight you could get. So
right. Yeah. So we're off early next week. So looking forward to that, and it should be good. We've got 6 wonderful customers coming along. I know some of them. There's a couple of new ones. There's a couple of Luke's customers as well. So it should be fun. We're going to hopefully go see the snow monkeys, and we found out the other day one of the places we're going, Matsumoto, which has a castle there. There's not many original Japanese castles, but that place does have one. But it's also got an ice sculpting night show on, just as we happen to be there. Completely pulled it out of our backsides. But so we're going to do a bit of a wander around that town with these ice sculptures all lit up. So that could throw out some interesting, challenging exposure problems when we're doing that. But we'll work through them and see if we can get some great shots. But it should be great fun. I don't know if we'll do a podcast while I'm over there or whether or not I'll tune in or not. I don't know. The time zone's pretty good. It's only a couple of hours behind.
Yeah, that's right.
So that might work. So we'll see how we go. But looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be brilliant. Now, you're making your way into Tokyo?
We are. So we're going to start in Tokyo. Then we're going to get a bullet train south down to Mount Fuji. And then we've got a few cars that we're going to drive around sort of from Mount Fuji across to the west coast and then back across to the east coast. So a bit of a circuit around there, going up through a lake district up the top, which should be, frozen lakes and snow-covered trees and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I've never been there before, so that's always a bit nerve-wracking. But Luke and Midori, they lived there for almost a decade, so they know it so well. And Luke's a fantastic photographer as well, so I'm sure together we can put together some great shots and get everyone happy.
I'd have thought, aside from the language barrier, and it sounds like you've got 2 people on board who are going to help you there, no worries. It's just another great spot to take photo. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that. It is a great spot to take photos, and they drive on the left-hand side, Cam. What could there's no
all the driving. Yeah, all the driving's the same, apart from the street signs all being in Japanese. So I've nominated to be in the middle car. We've actually got 3 cars on this one. So we've also got someone else, Cheryl's coming along as well, because she's been given an opportunity to come along. So she's going to come along. So we've got 3 cars, going to be very spacious, but I've nominated to be in the middle car so I can just follow Luke or Midori in the front when the sign says something in Japanese writing. And I don't know those. Like, I did Japanese in high school. I know a little bit of Japanese, but like I know enough to sort of say g'day and goodbye. And Google Translate apparently is very good when you're on the road to use. So it should be exciting. And hopefully next episode I'll have some photos to show the people, the viewers at home. And we're already sold out for 2027 as well. That's ready to go again. So it's crazy. It's great.
That'll be great. Now, speaking of workshops, good segue. Our 2026 workshops are filling up pretty quick. Now, we have had a spot come up for Kangaroo Island. A late scratching. It's not that late, I guess. It's still sort of 6 months away. But for Kangaroo Island, now, if I was clever, I would have the exact dates of Kangaroo Island at my fingertips. And I know it's in June, and I think it's around June. I want to say it's sort of mid to late June, something like that. So we have had a spot open up. Now, when we announced Kangaroo Island 6 months ago, it sold out in 20 minutes. So if you are watching this and you wanted to come to Kangaroo Island this year, June 2026.
June 23 to 27 is our Kangaroo Island.
23 Kangaroo Island. Which
as we're speaking, I am opening up that other spot on our website.
Very
so
good.
when this goes out live, there is one spot available right now. How long that takes, I don't know how long that's going to take to sell, but there is one spot there, first in, first served.
Yeah, definitely. So look, that's going to be a great try. So if we're 23rd to 27th, so that means you'll need to be in Adelaide on the 22nd, because we're going to pick you up in Adelaide on the morning of the 23rd. So you need to be there on the 22nd. Look, it's going to be mint. The scouting trip that Cam and I did there last year sticks in the mind as a fantastic trip. The landscapes there are nuts.
I mean,
the wildlife there is amazing. We can't.
Well, it's going to be Wildlife Wednesday when we're there, isn't it?
Definitely Wildlife Wednesday. And hey, good timing with the lens. So.
Good lens. So if you want to find this workshop, www.dsps.com.au, it is there now. So great. Whatever time it is now on Saturday when this comes out, I expect a spike on our website for people fighting for that last spot. If you miss out on that last spot that you want to go to Kangaroo Island on, we are going again in 2027, and there is spots available. That is also found on the same website. When we start plugging that one, I suggest that's going to sell quickly as well.
dsps.com.au, or above Angus's head behind Cameron is our QR code, which you can scan and go to dsps.com.au, click the workshops page, and away you go. While you're there, you might want to also buy us a beer if that's your thing. You can if you want. Yeah. I mean, how's your fridge looking, Cam? We could probably top it up a little bit.
You know what? It's actually bare bones at the moment.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm actually drinking a beer that a friend of mine left here on New Year's Eve. So that's how desperate I am.
Yeah. So we did have a beer donation.
We did. Thank you.
We've actually probably had we've had maybe two, depending on when we did our last episode. Jenny Cooper and Mal Haddon are both ticket not holder number 1 or 2. Yes. They can fight that out. But yeah, if you want to give us a beer, that'd be great. Goes in the fridge, or it helps run the website, helps put a few things on the show and on our subscriptions that we have to use to run this show. So it all helps. Thanks very much.
And according to the rundown, Cam, you have a shout out that you would like to give, which will lead us nicely into our subject.
Oh, look, it's Segway City here. So big shout out to Greg and Justin from the Camera Life show. I co-hosted another show. I cheated on us. I went and sat on another podcast. Lots of fun, great guys. If you don't watch the Camera Life podcast or show, definitely get over and watch it. They do lots of shows. They're catching up and overtake us with episodes very quickly. But it was great fun. It was a stretch. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes of chatting, but they definitely go into a lot more gear and a bit more in depth about gear and what's coming out and write-ups and reviews and things like that. So a bit more technically, but still a lot of fun at the same time. So thanks for them. It was lovely. Thank you for them having me on there. We did a joint show with them last year. We might do another one coming up this year, maybe towards BFOP or something like that. But shout out to them.
Let's do that. Yeah. And it was funny because you were on that live, and of course that's when the big lightning storm came through where I was. So I was out shooting lightning, and I got back and opened the channel, like literally as you guys said the last sentence.
That's right, you did. You said "G'day, Cam," and that was it. Yeah,
it was all over. Yeah. But I've downloaded it and I'm about halfway through it, so I am listening to it.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's very. Those guys are great. You're right. They're very thorough. They're all about the photographic community, which I really like as well. They give and give and give. So 2 hour and 40-minute podcast, Cam. Jeez.
Yeah, we're pushing that tonight, though. We're going all right.
I don't think my ADHD could last that long.
I was surprised my headphone battery actually lasted that long.
There is that as well.
I actually got a lovely email from Greg today. He followed up and said, thanks very much for coming on. And so, yeah, they're the good guys, a bit like us, they're just a couple of guys down to earth who are very passionate about their photography. So go over there and give them a watch and subscribe and do all the right things. And
I like to think from us. I like to think that we inspired them to start that show.
Well, they openly admitted that on the episode, that if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be doing a podcast. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah.
We'll take all the credit, huh?
We'll take anything now these days.
Just a little bit about 2026 for the Down South Photo Show. We mentioned this on our 2025 wrap-up show that 2026 may be look a little different as far as the podcast is concerned, particularly in terms of probably not being regular weekly shows. There might be times when we string 3 together 3 weeks in a row. That may happen, but we're not going to sort of marry ourselves to that. I actually like the fact that, we've had, a few weeks of the year go by already. So much has happened, and it's given us a lot of content for one episode. So we were finding, particularly if we're doing them back to back to back each week, that we were starting to back over some old territory. So this has been a really refreshing approach, I think. So by all means, though, comment below. Let us know. We love your feedback. We want to know what you guys want out of us in 2026.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think what we might have got sucked into as well is that, the algorithms of YouTube say, people have an attention span of 30 to 45 minutes. So we're trying to work around that and trying to keep episodes brief, but to the point, but regular and all that kind of stuff. And that's just really tricky. We're both working people. You run your shop, I've run my business, got families and things like that. And, it's great to catch up. This is a bit more thorough. It's an hour and a half or so of an episode where we talk about things in depth, as opposed to trying to skim through things in 45 minutes. So apologies if you like the weekly episodes. Like I said, we may string a few together throughout the year, but don't fret. And don't not buy us beer because we don't put an episode out each week. That's not fair. Just keep putting the beer through. That'll give us more to talk about. And then we have more shout outs as well. So yeah, I agree.
You'll probably find we'll get to the end of 2026 and there'll be just as many hours of content. They'll just be spread over fewer episodes. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. As long as the beer total's the same at the end of 2026, I'm happy.
Absolutely. So, so thanks, guys. Welcome to the new year of the podcast. So it's been great tonight chatting. Cam, thanks for your time as always.
Thank you. Is it the fourth year or third year?
We started in 21, so technically it's the fifth year.
Jesus, really?
This is
5 years to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, 2021 was when the first, wasn't it? Was it 22?
I don't know.
I think it was 21 when the first episode went out. So anyway, I don't know. I don't keep up with these things. But,
I'll check that. But that's pretty impressive.
It's pretty cool. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
Have a safe and happy trip, Cam. Enjoy your time in Japan. I'll get this thing edited and up on Saturday. So
cool.
You'll be up in the air not long after that. I've got an interesting workshop tomorrow as well with a young lady, a young photographer. Cameron, a young photographer who's keen to learn the trade. In her sort of mid-teen years, she's coming in with her mum and wants a bit of mentorship. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Looking forward to it. Very keen on photography, and we all love, encouraging the grassroots stuff. So that's going to be something new for me. It's also going to be 41 degrees here tomorrow. So
is it really going to be 41 up there?
It sure is.
I didn't realize that. That's pretty stupid.
And because no one listens this far, I will tell you.
Yeah. So just why I checked. Episode 1 was this is our 5th year.
Yep.
It was 4 years ago.
Ocean Grove tomorrow will hit 40. That's the forecast. But let's just for laughs have a look at Swan Hill, shall we?
46.
So tomorrow 41. But then this is Swan Hill's run of weather for the next 7 days. 41, 44, 44, 47, 45, 43, 44.
47.
Isn't that outrageous?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy where I am down here. Thank you very much.
After 47, if it hits 47, that's close to record territory. So
that's pretty stupid. Like we got a hot day here tomorrow.
Yeah, 30.
28, which is pretty warm for here. But it does feel like that. That'll feel like 35 here. That's ridiculous. So but after that, we've got I'll give you some. Oh, hang on, look at this. Saturday 29, Sunday 20, Monday 24, Tuesday, the day I leave, 32, 23, 22, 25. So summer's arrived. We're going to have more than 3 days of summer this year. Woo-hoo. As I leave to go over to winter.
Yes. Well, speaking of leaving, that's it. That's the podcast. This has been episode 100 and what did we say it was? 85 of the Down South Photo Show. We'll catch you for 186 down the track because I got to go because Buddy the Wonder Dog is scratching at the door.
You better go then. All right. Sounds good.
Have a great trip. We will see you on the other side. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And say goodbye, Cameron.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. That's what it is too. Nice. I like it.
Yeah,
okay. Cheers.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.